sandwich. Basketball at the top and bottom, football in the middle. Wonderful. Last night, Suns in Atlanta traded John Collins, who has not been traded, despite 20,000 articles that I've read about John Collins being traded. Finishes the game with 16. Hawks win. Get to 500.
I like that.
I'm starting to feel the Hawks a little bit. Weird. Week 18 in Vegas, saw the famous snow globe play. McKinnon to Mahomes, to Kadarius Toney to the end zone. You expecting something out of Kadarius Toney in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's going to get all the McCall Hardman plays. Yeah,
okay.
He's going
Chiefs
to be a huge
win this one, 31-13. Wonderful. Philly up in Washington. This is one of my favorite plays. Devontae Smith goes up and gets this one. Score on the next play here. Ends that game with 8 catches for 169 yards. Weird. Chiefs now in Denver. Also, I had a hard time picking great Chiefs plays. Mahomes, no look to McKinnon. That actually is a 56-yard pass. That's why the number's a little bit inflated. Chiefs win this game 34-28. And finally, back to basketball. Bucks in L.A. Giannis ends the night with 38, 10, and 6. Bucks win, obviously. Lakers, 6 games under 500. Same exact record as the Pacers, who we rarely talk about winning the championship. But we'll all keep trying. Joining us now, the star of USC football, the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner, and brought to us on behalf of Action Water, who has helped unlock his full potential both on and off the field. Let's give it up for Caleb Williams, everyone.
You missed a few things in his intro.
Go ahead.
Also, much like the prince who was promised, Trevor Lawrence, former Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. And, you know, all year people are like, hey, is Allen Mahomes the next great rivalry? Maybe it's Burrow Mahomes. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams Mahomes. So that's why we wanted to have you on. I don't know if we've ever had a college athlete on this show, but I think you have a chance to be the next great NFL quarterback.
Thank you.
And so I want to talk to you a bit about college, then we can talk Super Bowl and stuff. Your game, first game I ever saw you play, you were at Oklahoma. You came in off the bench in the biggest game of the year, the Texas State Fair, and rallied Oklahoma from a 2-score deficit, 17-point deficit, something like that. 3-score deficit. My apologies. All right, there you go. And then obviously last year at USC, I feel like you probably could have get some good bounces, win the national championship, at least get there. The Utah game that you guys lost at the end, I thought was your best game of the year. So you have an injured hamstring, and you are doing everything you can before it gets away from you at the end. How were you in that spot able to channel whatever you had left? And the reason it's relevant is that we saw something similar, different injury, but with Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, where you know your team had to have you. It was essentially an elimination game, and you're out there on one leg.
It's something that I watch and admire is Kobe. And it's actually something that if you go back and look at me, every time I came to the sideline, I would go get on the bike, and I was in pain. But I knew I had to keep my hamstring moving, but it's something that I go by and something that I have in my notes, and it's from Kobe, is the game is bigger than whatever I'm feeling in that moment. And so I was really focused on trying to go and be my same self out there, and trying to up other levels of my game that I maybe might have been even throughout the whole game, but with me kind of being down with a hamstring and a leg, I had those other levels of leadership and kind of being level-headed and going out there and trying to perform the best that I could for my guys was in full effect.
What makes Lincoln Riley so special at getting the absolute most out of your position, particularly out of the quarterback position? Yeah,
I would say, he's a mastermind, and I've said this since I've been with him, and he's been coaching me. He's a mastermind of the offense, and so he's the best, and you always like being around the best, and if you want to be the best, and I for sure want to be the best that I can be when I go out there and perform. I want to win big games, and making sure that we are both on the same page is one of the biggest things that you can have for an offensive coordinator and a QB.
I'm like Nick. I expect you to have a great NFL career, like a lot of people. All right, but when you see great college quarterbacks, even ones that won the Heisman, struggle in the NFL, what do you learn from that? Does that make you kind of go back in the lab or think about things you're going to have to do in the future? Or how do you look at that?
The way that I look at it, and I don't really look at too many other people's situations that have happened to where their situation didn't work out. I look at mine and realize that I'm not as good as everybody is saying. It's a self-realization. There's a lot more that I don't know about football. I mean, from defenses to the next level of what's going to happen, the speed and all of that. There's so much that I don't know yet, and that's kind of the fun part about this game and me being so young. It's really exciting to me that I don't know as much as I will.
I got to tell you, Caleb, you're kind of putting me in a rough spot here because I told the producers before you came on that I'm going to say you're the second best quarterback alive behind Patrick Mahomes, and now you're like, I'm not as good as everybody says. And they have a whole graphics package built out and a whole thing ready. And Nick says Caleb, second best quarterback in the NFL, not yet in the NFL, and he's like, I got a lot to learn. So I'm kind of out of questions, Wild. So you go right ahead, buddy. Kind of screwed me there, pal.
42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yep.
Do you think that there's a chance, or have you thought about, man, I probably left more touchdowns on the board or more plays on the board because, I don't know, 5 interceptions is so little. Like, do you want to take more risks of like, you know what, maybe this is interception, or are you prioritizing ball security? You want to have like a 0 interception year?
I want to have a 0 interception year and maybe 1 or 2 100 completion percentage games.
Nice.
If I can, but
It's like Mac Jones out
yeah,
I'm just saying.
I for sure want to throw more touchdowns. Every year, my self goals that I set before the season go up, and I kind of actually reached and surpassed a couple of my self goals with how many touchdowns I had. So this next year, I'll probably go for around 60. And,
Okay.
And by the way, he did have 52 total touchdowns.
60 touchdowns.
hopefully, I can go for around 5,000 yards passing. And
Okay.
You throw for 5,000 yards
three-
and 50 touchdowns.
interceptions,
People will vote
maybe.
Drew Brees MVP over you, so be careful about that. So,
Being formally, at least, an Oklahoma guy, are you pulling for Jalen Hurts in this game? And do you have a relationship with him, anything like that?
Yeah, so I've actually met Jalen Hurts a couple times, and just he's given me a couple words of wisdom. As everybody sees, he's a very, very smart and very detailed athlete and human, and so I for sure have taken a couple things from him, but I hope it's just a good game. But I do kind of want the Eagles to win, but I also want Pat to get another bowl.
so do you think that, because I think everyone's projecting you, as number 1 pick, you already won a Heisman Trophy. Do you think because of the success at the NFL level of a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who stylistically I think is very similar to you, like probably could run more than he does, but is such a good thrower, doesn't have to, but has it in his, in his quiver, if you will. Jalen obviously is different stylistically, he's probably a better runner than thrower at this point. But the athletic, usually black quarterback that had been underdrafted forever, now you're the projected number 1 pick. Do you think that's in part because of the success people have seen from the 2 guys in this game?
Yeah, I think it's even the success of people like Warren Moon and anything like that, Donovan McNabb, and them kind of leading the way and kind of kind of setting stone down for people like Pat, myself, and Jalen to have these type of opportunities.
It's great. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. You heard it here
Thank
first.
you.
60 touchdowns, 5,000 yards for Caleb Williams. Give it up for Caleb Williams.